This is episode 47 of the After Gambling podcast, and today I am excited to be joined by the one and only Andy Margett. Yes, hashtag my name is Andy. Hey there and welcome to the After Gambling podcast. My name is Jamie. I am a compulsive gambler and I'm also the host of this show. The last time I gambled was July 15th of 2010. Today is a great episode. It's one that I've been looking forward to for a long time because I was joined by Andy Margett, who you can find on his vlog on YouTube or on Twitter by searching for @BaronMad79. But have no fear, all of these links are in the show notes. And to make it easy to find them so you can connect with Andy and say thanks for coming on the show, you can just go to aftergambling.com/47, and that will take you to the show page where you can find Andy's links. And be sure to tweet at him or send him a message on YouTube and use the hashtag my name is Andy. So here's the chat that I had with Andy Margett. Well, today I am joined by a very special guest. If you have been doing any type of research or looking into people on problem gambling online, you've probably come across my guest today. I have Andy Margett. Andy, good to have you on the show.
Hello there. You all right, Jamie?
And so the name will probably sound familiar. So if you've ever been on YouTube and search for compulsive gambling, you've probably come across Andy's channel and it uses the hashtag my name is Andy. I'll link all this stuff up in the show notes. But I guess, Andy, first of all, when did you start the show? What was your thought behind it?
Well, it was just like I've been about 9 years clean, just over, and I was sort of thinking I want to write my own story down and want to tell like the whole world. I was toying with like just writing it as a blog, but a lot of people do that already, and so I thought, no, I'm going to do a video just as a one-off, doing my story as you do. You share your story, about 10 and a half minute video, and I thought nothing of it. I did it. I just put it up onto YouTube, and started getting quite a lot of comments quite quickly saying, "Oh, it's brilliant" and all that lot. And people were quite interested with what I had to say and stuff, and I thought I'm going to link this to my Twitter as well because I'm very active on Twitter, and I thought I'm going to link it up and then every couple of weeks just start doing a video. It's a bit like initially pre-recording, so I was just doing like as if I was sharing in a Gamblers Anonymous meeting, so to speak, and I just wanted to share how my week's been, how I'm feeling, what my thoughts are. I appreciate I'm like long-winded, I'm long down the road of recovery, but it's quite heartening to do it and people asking and talking, and there was a need for it. I was supposed to say really, judging by how many people started to message me on social media asking for advice and help and stuff and all that lot. So I just carried on. Now up to the present day, now I actually stream live, so. And it's all off the cuff, nothing written down, no script or anything like that. It's just my thoughts, how my week's been or how my day's been, what I've been up to, if I've gotten myself into any trouble or any skirmishes on Twitter, obviously. Obviously, I talk about my football a lot as well and my kids and my wife and sport. I just try and show that you can have a normal life and you can fight the addiction, really.
Yeah, so you didn't have any big plans going into this. It was just kind of, hey, I'm going to document a little 10 or 11 minute video, and all of a sudden just kind of has gone from there, huh? Yeah,
it definitely did. Yeah, it was just crazy. I mean, I think the initial video, I think it's May or June 2016 when I started it, the original video, it's got over 40,000 hits now. And for saying it's quite a silent addiction and it's quite a niche thing to do, that's quite incredible. People have watched it that many times and stuff like that. It's not me just hitting it on repeat all the time, obviously, but no, I mean, if I could, why I carried on, if I could just get through to that one person and it help them in their recovery, help them to stay clean or stop, or if they had a slip, so be it. It's an amazing thing. I'm happy that they helped just that one person. And it's quite humbling when I get so many messages of support and thanks and stuff, because as compulsive gamblers or gambling addicts, however you want to describe ourselves, we struggle with praise and we struggle to pat ourselves on the back. So I'm patting myself on the back now, and it's great. And I love sharing my story and love talking.
Yeah, and like you said, I think there's such a need for it. I mean, it was something I kind of thought about. I mean, I had seen your show, obviously. I listened to Brian's podcast, so I kind of knew just personally how much it helped me, like you say, in between meetings. It's not something that replaces a meeting or replaces anything, but it's kind of cool to have these outlets where we can go on and share stories so that the person that isn't ready to go to GA yet, they can go on and kind of get some of the flavor of that almost.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, as you see when I do the live comments, I let people talk within themselves on the live vlog, and they're all trying to help each other, and they're all networking, and they've got another person to talk to. I think it's critical when you first stopped, and you've been off like a couple of weeks or a couple of months even, or something like that. Obviously, I talk about a day at a time, and that first year is always the hardest when you stop, and you got to have them barriers in place. It's like I say. I always say, talk about how you're feeling, tell somebody. And this is why the vlog, I think, helps quite a lot of people, because there's people to talk to. If there's one person they can't message, they've got somebody else to fall back on who understand what they're going through. And it helps them probably fight the urge at that moment in time. If they've got like 4 or 5 people to contact, message them. If one gets back to them, then hey presto, really. So it's quite a nice... It is very niche, don't get me wrong, but I really enjoy it, and I'll continue to do them, obviously. So,
yeah, and I think what you're hitting at, I mean, basically you've created a community, right? It's just a community, like you say, the people come together, they're helping each other out, much like a GA meeting, but just online. But then I guess my next question, which I probably already know the answer to this, is how much has doing the show helped you?
Oh, immensely. Immensely. You've got to remember, at the end of the day, I always say you have to be selfish in your own recovery, and I always have to look after me first, so to speak. So for me to actually share my life with others, it's an amazing thing for me, and I'm still learning. Obviously, with GA, you get loads of quotes. I plagiarise. Learn to listen to learn. I get just as much as someone who's been off for a day or two, compared to someone who's been off 15, 20 years. You're still learning, and you know, it sounds selfish again, but if people have them slips, I really need to listen to them and see what happened to them. And I don't want to probably have that feeling of being there, being like, oh, I've done something what I shouldn't have done. And it helps me to listen to people who are fresh, who are new, who have slipped, anyone really, and I get so much out of talking to other people and listen to their recoveries and pinching bits of their recoveries as well. I've learned loads. I've learned so much, and I've still got loads to learn. I'm very rough around the edges, what I do and stuff and all that lot. I'll admit that. And what I think helps with my vlogs, but with the people who are coming on and commenting on the YouTubes, it's the authenticity of the person, so to speak. Sometimes you probably can't get it as much through like a social media aspect or Twitter. That vlog, when it's live, it's in the here and now, and you've got that sudden feeling, you know, that how that person's feeling at that exact moment, instead of someone probably building up to a message for help for like 2 or 3 weeks, so to speak. It gives someone to release and let them get off the chest. And it can help, like, for a half an hour, 40 minutes, not replacing a meeting, or it might build up to a GA meeting or GAM care or whatever services I want to go through. So that's the kind of thing, really.
Yeah, and so I guess it's basically been all positive. Have there been any negatives along the way? Things that you didn't expect or that you wish weren't there?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, you see me on my social media and a lot of stuff as well. And I remember when I first came out in 2016 with it all and stuff, I went to follow as many people as I can regarding gambling addiction. And I didn't realise there was that broad range of views, to put it politely, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I've got myself into some debates over time, and sometimes where it's not helped me to probably talk about certain aspects of gambling addiction and probably the politics of it all, especially in the UK and the campaigns and stuff and all that lot. I am my own mind. Some people will agree with me, some people will disagree with me. That's fine. I think the thing I struggle with is when people probably I don't mind people questioning me. I'm fair game for what my beliefs and views are, as long as it's done in a respectful way. I'm not a fan of like tit for tat or arguing, because at the end of the day, all the people pretty much talk to regarding the subject are gambling addicts or affected others, and as long as it's in a reasonable, debatable way and it's fine, no accusations and no lies or whatever and stuff like that, I'm fine to talk to anybody. I'll always defend my view, defend myself as well and my family, so to speak. So, but I have pulled myself away from like those kind of debates because I knew it wasn't really helping my recovery, even like 10, 11 years in at the time. It was, I've got to focus on me. I'll go back to that number one thing. We have to be selfish and look after ourselves first.
I think that's so true. The selfishness is where it all starts. And like you say, we can kind of get caught up in debating what the best way to get from point A to point B is. But their reality is there's a lot of different ways and a lot of different methods.
Definitely.
The one question I have, and this is again a selfish question. So when I first started this, I know I had a lot of just kind of the fear, whether it was the shame and stigma, even not so much outside on Twitter because you still have the anonymous nature there, but like friends and family. And I've just recently started to open up, and I know my experiences, but what have been your experiences? Because I think a lot of people probably listen and they're like, well, I can't tell anybody because they're going to look upon me differently. What's been your feedback from friends or people in your kind of social circle when they find out that, okay, you have this YouTube channel and that you've had this addiction?
Yeah, it's great, really. I mean, like I say, I've been wide open, and then when I first came out, obviously I had to tell my wife first, and I'll go back to the very beginning when I first stopped gambling and admitted I got a problem. Obviously, everyone's reactions are different, so to speak. My wife just lost complete trust in me and stuff, and she was like gobsmacked, really, very naive. And she wouldn't even like hold my hand for a few weeks, 5-6 weeks. She wouldn't stand next to me. I always had to walk in front or walk behind her. You just lose trust in you, and you got total shame and stuff and all that. Obviously, my mum and dad went apoplectic at me when I told them, and her mum and dad as well. But they knew I needed help. The reaction, obviously, is one of anger, then it's one of help. Best for me, it was the best thing I did, having to tell people, my close family. It felt like a massive weight off my shoulders, so to speak. It wasn't taboo anymore. I didn't have to lie about it anymore. Didn't have to like hide letters or make up something about something, where I've been or what I've been doing. It felt like a massive pressure cooker on my chest until I managed to release it all. Obviously, I give my problems to everybody else then, and I'm always been conscious of that. And obviously through GA circles, you're always trying to make amends, and that's what I've probably been doing back to this day, really. I remember opening up to friends and stuff and all that lot, thinking, yeah, they could see it, if you know what I mean, but obviously they couldn't really intervene because they don't really understand it. But for me, it was, for my recovery, it was the best thing I ever did, was opening up and sort of talking. And then it took me a while to open up to the world, social media wise and stuff and all that lot. But best thing ever. It's breaking my own stigma. It helped me grow as a person as well. It's made me become a better person, actually, doing the vlogs as well, more than anything. GA did anyway. That's enabled me to like change my mindset on things and not to shoot first and ask questions later. I've taught myself to breathe, not do the first thing in my head, breathe and do the second thing, so to speak. And the second thing is usually the better thing. I've had great response, obviously, to friends and stuff, and one or two of them are very keen and talked to me about it. I mean, I was out with my mate Tom on Saturday. He took me out for dinner, bless him, and he was talking about how I'm doing and stuff and what my vlogs are like, and he's given me advice as well, which was quite good. And like I said, when anyone asks me what I do for a living and stuff and all that, obviously I've got a normal job in a warehouse, but I also always mention I do my vlogs as well on the side and do bits as well. And it's quite interesting that people ask loads of questions about me, and like I say, I've got a feeling that I have to do it, if you know what I mean. I have to tell people, and I'm not trying to scare anyone off gambling. I'm not anti-gambling in what way, but it made me chill out and relax talking about it, and I'm so comfortable, bit like talking to you now, obviously.
Yeah, there's just freedom, right? Freedom, I can
Yeah,
sense it in your voice. And
totally. I agree, totally.
yeah. So I guess one other question I have on the show, and we'll kind of get into your story a little bit more, which is, what is the most common question you get asked?
uh,
Or you can do a couple if there are a couple.
The funny one I get is, oh, you can't even do the lottery, which is quite a fun one in England. When someone asks me when am I gambling, I do, what, you can't even do the lottery? That's quite a fun. I get that quite a lot, especially with like people who asking me questions who are not a gambling addict or identify as a problem gambler. The the other one is, do you still get the urges? I get that a lot.
What's
Obviously
the answer?
from people who, pardon?
What's the answer to that one?
No, I don't. I still get dreams now and again, once in a blue moon, and it's quite bizarre. You wake up with a bit of a panic on for about a brief couple of seconds and get your bearings and stuff. But no, I'm no urges for a long time. I'd say that first 12 to 18 months is where they hit hardest, and but no urges. But they're the two main questions I get asked. So a fun one is the lottery one, and the probably more serious one is, do I still get urges? So
yeah, and I think those are pretty common questions. I mean, those are two popular ones that I get. And I saw here in the US, we just had some very large lotteries, and people were like, oh, I just want to spend $1 or $2. I'm like, well, do what you want, but it's a whole lot easier to have complete commitment than 98% commitment. So
yeah, definitely.
So I guess if you want, share a little bit more about your story. I mean, how did you start gambling? What are some of your first gambling memories? How did it develop over time? What caused you to quit?
I was about to say, my granddad used to have a bet on horse racing. My dad does, and he still does now. He still messages me when he backs a winner now and again, which is bizarre, but I'm quite long in the tooth and I'm quite able to get that. And but then I started to have a bet on the Grand National over in England. I'm not sure if you heard it in the USA. It's probably the biggest jump national hunt race in the world, based in Liverpool. It's once a year, and brought up with memories of that. It's like a race that stops the nation kind of thing. So everyone has a bet, like their once a year bet. And I'd have 25 pence each way on a horse when I was about 13, something like that. And I then got to about 14, 15. I qualified as a football referee, or soccer to you. So I was doing 2 or 3 games at a weekend, and I was earning quite a lot of money in the mid-90s for a 15, 16-year-old lad. I was earning 30, 40 pounds. So I started having little combination bets on big race meetings at the weekend. Nothing major. Got to about 17, 18. I was starting to take more interest into horse racing. Enjoyed having a bet on it still, earning a bit more money. I used to work for McDonald's and Burger King, so I was earning a bit of money through college. Playing with cards with my mates, 3-card brag. It's like a mini version of poker, so to speak, I'd say. Playing it with 5, 10p's, 20p's, with lots of change. I used to play on a Friday night around somebody's house. It depended on if anyone's mum or dad's gone away on holiday, so to speak. And I was just really cracking on with that. All right. Met my wife, Becky, when I was about 21, 22. Brought a house together and got online on the internet. And I got introduced to playing Texas Hold'em poker online. Started off with just playing the tournaments, so paying £5-10 to start a tournament. Won about 20 tournaments online. Thought I was I'm really good at this, and what I did was really just started spiraling out of control. Really, so I was I had a job, really well paid job, working for a Japanese motor firm, car manufacturer. And I used to work shifts, so I used to work 2 weeks of day shifts and 2 weeks of night shifts. My wife was office based, doing office hours like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday job. So I had loads of time on my hands. Started playing per hand at Texas Hold'em, so paying each hand, and started getting into debt. Spend my own money, then apply for credit. This is like 2005, 2006. Went through 4 credit cards. I went through them at least 2-3 times, wiping them out with 2 unsecured loans. And the secured loan, I was totally in a rut with it. I was blinkered as in a complete bubble to the outside world. I couldn't wait to gamble at all times. I was still betting on the horses as well, bit of football, any sport. Everything's just started spiraling out of control. The stakes went up, and I kept going up all the time, and I was just in a complete rut, complete daze with it, and I was just like, I was just a mess. I did 60 grand in two and a bit years. I got to January 2007 thinking, right, I need to stop. Basically, I was running out of money. I was nicking out my wife's purse as well, which was awful. She was pregnant with her first child as well, and it was due in March of 2007. I was going crazy with my gambling, just having a couple of weeks off, thinking, yeah, I'm all right. Then as soon as I got paid, I went away again, just smashing it all again. This went on for about 2-3 months. And it got to the 14th of April 2007, which is day of my last bet. I was due to go to the Grand National meeting that day. It talks about the Grand National, massive race meeting in the UK. It was early hours of Saturday morning. It was about 4:30, 4:45 in the morning. And I just took another bad beat at poker. I remember my hand, it was like, I think I went all in on pocket twos, put about £600 on it, lost a lot, and I just lost it. I went down into my cellar because I used to live in an old two down terrace. Got a hammer and took my PC to bits, just smashed my PC to bits. My wife come downstairs. What are you doing? What are you doing? I had to lie about that as well, because obviously I was lying all the way through, lying about statements, lying about money and things and all that lot. And I even lied about that, saying the computer was broken. And it was just horrendous, really. I was just in bits. I actually went and gambled that day at the Grand National meeting, but I stopped from that day. So I had to stop, and I tried to do it for willpower for about 6 weeks. Pressure building up on me, thinking I can't pay bills. I'm struggling to pay bills now and everything like that. Come back from one shift on a Friday afternoon after work. Wife's there, shaping up a statement. What's all this? And I just blurted it all out. And there's my son, 3-month-old son, giggling in her arms, haven't got a clue. And I've pretty much broke her heart. She's lost trust in me. She's in tears, absolute bits, jaw swinging from side to side. And kicked me out there and then. And I remember going to my mum and dad's, and that 10-15 minute drive, it's a psychological barrier to this day. And what it was, really, I was like, no music on in the car, and all I can remember hearing in my head was the death march, when you go to a funeral. And I was going all the way home back to mum and dad's, 10-15 minute journey. Got back there. Obviously, I told them what's happened and everything, and they went nuts at me, apoplectic at me. Because, see, I was down and needed help. I was at rock bottom. Needed to sort myself out. Found GA where I live in Derby. Following Tuesday. Didn't want to go. I was dragged there, kicking and screaming, thinking no one's like me. And I was just like, no one's like me. And then I got like a nodding dog when I started listening to everyone's stories, like I'm doing to you now. Like, yeah, I've done that. It took me quite a few meetings to realise, as a massive GA thing, give GA 90 days. And I'm glad I did. because I started to learn that I needed to be there. It was like my medicine for each week. I needed to talk to people who understood what I was doing and going through. I had to rebuild that trust, because that's the biggest thing you lose. It's not the money, it's the trust in you. And I wanted to so bad to make sure my relationship, my wife, again, and my family and stuff, and my friends who were affected. I remember Boxing Day that year, 2007, and I had massive urges to gamble. And my wife and the son had gone down south to meet family, and I was left on my own with £20 in my hand. And I remember I was bouncing off the walls, I was climbing the walls, wanted to gamble, and I didn't know what to do. So I thought, right, to get rid of this, I needed to get rid of this £20. So I phoned up a Chinese takeaway, ordered 20 quid worth of Chinese food, and it stopped me gambling that day. It was normal for me. And I was like, I was just starting to sense that I was getting better. I started to, day by day, taking it one day at a time, listening to GA, going to my meetings. And that first year was incredibly difficult. And I was so proud when I got that 1 year pin at GA. And I continued to strive to be a better person, because I was a guy who was quite confrontational in an argument, not violent, but what I would do is fight. I was like, if someone told me the grass is green, I'll tell them it was fucking blue, pardon my language, but that was how I was as a person. I was a horrible person, but GA and really helped me change to think about things, ask questions, respect people in a debate and stuff and all that. And over the years, GA helped me immensely, and I thank it to this day. It helped me through some dark times, some tough times. I wanted to run away. I wanted to end it all, but I'm here to stay. And obviously, 9 years in, I started vlogging. I share my story like I am now, and I had to fill my time with loads of things. I keep fit. I've done lots of half marathons, running and stuff and all that, raised loads of money for charity. I just changed the way I was totally. And I do believe I am a better person now. Taught me to be honest, taught me to be nice, taught myself to be a good person. And I know I'm a good person. Don't get me wrong, I still got my faults, still got my little idiosyncrasies, still procrastinate a lot, still can be very lazy. But here I am, I'm here to stay. And hopefully people enjoy listening to my story and maybe inspired, taking little bits out of it, thinking, yeah, if it helps me, that would be it. That's it, really.
No, that was incredible. And there's so much there, but a couple things that really stood out to me. And one that you kind of touched on at the end, which is that internal conflict, right? Of, yeah. I know I'm a good person. Like, this isn't what I should be doing. This isn't how I should be living my life. And I remember living that life and that lie, yeah. Like, man, I know I can turn it around. I need to turn it around. And I think we do. We strip ourselves of that belief in ourselves, and it takes time to get it back. But obviously, you can hear in your voice as you go through the story, and I mean, that belief in yourself has come back.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. And then the other one that I really, really liked, and I wrote it down, was where you said, no one's like me. And you kept thinking, no one's like me. And it's funny because anybody that's listened to this podcast now, they'll be able to pick out about 300 things from what you just said. They'll be like, oh, that's just like Jamie. Oh, that's just like Jamie. I mean, young family, poker, playing online. I mean, the whole night. You had the 15-minute drive home, and I had a 5.5-hour drive home. It's crazy how many parallels there are. And it becomes free. I think it allows us to be able to step outside of ourselves to realize that, okay, we can do this. And like you say, if somebody else has done it, if Andy's done it, if Jamie's done it, if Joe's done it, anybody else has done it, then you start to see, okay, there is a path there.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully, like I say, by sharing our stories, Jamie, it inspires people, and hopefully people pick up bits out of each other and stuff and all that. And like I say, we're very similar probably in our recoveries and stuff. And yeah, it's just it was difficult to probably. When I first started sharing my story, it was always difficult to share it and stuff, and always thinking about to new bits of it and things like that. And it gets me that it does get to me a bit still. My story. I mean, I shared it the other week. Well, you've probably seen it on Twitter where I was like with the Epic Boys for Derby County, my football team, and I was like very emotional, still sharing it now, and going thinking back of it and getting goose pimples and like all those fears and those little things I did and talking about it. Not thinking, not regrets or anything like that. I was like, wow, what did I do? And it's still, I could still relate to it. It's still very raw for me, if you know what I mean. And that's how it is. And I think it's good that I can still remember the rawness of it all and the actual days and what I did and the last hand I played and the last bets I played and stuff like that. I think it helps me to remember that life's gone and I need to move forward, so to speak.
100%. And that's, I mean, that I always think it was like an out of body experience when I was playing, even because it was kind of that conflict of didn't really feel like me. But now I love, I mean, I, like you, selfishly, I absorb everybody's stories as an out of body experience for me, which takes me back to remind me of, okay, if I choose to forget, because I think we're wired to forget. That's the only thing that makes any sense is for whatever reason, as addicts, we decide, okay, you know what? It's different this time. The $1 lottery, the $10 poker game, whatever it is going to be different this time. And the moment we allow ourselves to forget, we forget the pain and the end game. And that's what, I mean, reading people's stories and hearing people talk on day one, day zero is so powerful and it helps so much. I mean, people at GA meetings, you know, the new people say, I don't really have anything that I can't help everybody else. And I'm like, no, you're going to help us all way more than any of us can help you.
Yeah, precisely. That's why I say, I mean, always listen to new guys and people who are still probably in the midst of it. And it helps me to talk to them and listen to them and thinking, what did I do then when I was doing all those kind of things?
Yeah. And then I'll tell you what, let's get you out of here on this one. I know you had sort of an epic trip a few months back. You came over across the sea to the USA, to New York City.
I did, yes.
My takeaway, and just from afar, it seems like that was an incredible experience, and it kind of sums up your journey, right? It's what's kind of showcased. Okay, here you are now, and the freedom and the ability. I mean, if you want to talk a little bit about your trip, and then also just on the bigger picture, what has not gambling allowed you to do that gambling never allowed you to?
That New York trip was amazing for me and Becky. It's something we dreamt about all our lives, and it was the first time being able to self-fund a holiday without having to rely on parents. And it was great to take me and Becky away. Obviously, I've got 3 children, but my mum and dad live by the seaside, and they went there for the week. And it was great for them. But it was just an amazing experience to do everything that we ever dreamed of. Everything I ever dreamt of, like a nice car, a nice house. I live in a nice house as well. Going to America and stuff and all that lot. I chased that. Everything since I stopped gambling, I've got everything I ever wanted. That trip to America was like probably a pinnacle moment, like a really pinnacle moment in my recovery, per se. Got to do everything we ever dreamt of, whatever we see in the movies and stuff and all that, like Empire State Building, Ground Zero, Rockefeller, Statue of Liberty. Went to the cinemas as well. We did a show, went to see Aladdin on Broadway. Just amazing experience, and it was like a pinch yourself moment, thinking, Andy, you've done well here. And as I go back to it, we should always praise ourselves, but you think, boy, you've done good. The boy's done good. You've done good. And it's quite a humbling thing. And I've got the freedom to do pretty much what I want now. I earn half decent money. I'm not greedy, if you know what I mean. I'm happy to pay my bills, have a roof over our head, and try and get our kids away with us as many days out and have a holidays or something as well once a year. I'm a humble guy, really. We like simple things, doing nice stuff now and again and treating ourselves. And it's great to have the audacity to do that, all because I'm not gambling. So that America trip was like a pinnacle for me. It was like a massive moment.
Well, Andy, you are a humble guy. I know that. And so on behalf of myself and everyone who's ever listened to you, watched your show, and really had a lot of takeaways from what you share, I just want to say thank you because you are doing a lot of good. You say you've done some good. You've done a whole lot of good. So thank you very much. This has been awesome. Look forward to the next time to have you on. I'm sure we'll have plenty of topics. Until then, I will link up all the places that people can reach out to you and say hello. But yeah, just looking forward to our chat again.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, Andy.
No problem.
I hope that you enjoyed that chat as much as I did. And like I said in the intro, if you want to get the show notes, you can go to aftergambling.com/47. And that will give you the links to Andy's YouTube channel and also to his Twitter handle where he is quite active. Definitely connect with him, send him a message, tell him thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for sharing his story. And I'm sure many of you have already corresponded with Andy before. So again, just reach out, tell him thanks because it really is cool to have other people come on and share their story. And now, as always, Andy and I, we're not attorneys, we're not doctors, we're not therapists, we're not any of those things with letters behind our name. We're just guys that had compulsive gambling problems, and we share our stories to help you. But please seek out professional help. Go to a doctor, go to an attorney, go to a therapist to get the professional help that you need to address your problem gambling. Music for the show is Something Elated by Broke for Free and is licensed under the Creative Commons license. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.